Churchill's darkest secret, the cover-up that saved Britain. The night sky burns with fire. Sirens wail across London. Bombs rain down like thunder from the heavens. Families scramble for shelter in the underground. It's the Blitz, Hitler's campaign to break Britain into submission. But behind the smoke, behind the speeches of defiance, Winston Churchill, Britain's bulldog, Britain's savior, harbored secrets. Decisions so dark, so cold-blooded that they were hidden from the world for decades. Secrets that may have saved Britain from destruction, but at a cost too terrible to forget. The Sky of Fire. September 1940. The Luftwaffe unleashes its fury. Entire neighborhoods are reduced to rubble. Churchill addresses Parliament with fire in his voice. We shall never surrender. But the Prime Minister knew the truth. Britain's survival was far from guaranteed. The Royal Air Force was stretched thin, radar systems fragile, and the enemy's bombers relentless. Then came a breakthrough. British intelligence cracked parts of Germany's top-secret Enigma code. For the first time, Churchill had a window into Hitler's plans. He knew when and where the bombs would fall. The weapon was information. But how do you use it without revealing to the enemy that you have it? Churchill soon faced a choice that would haunt him forever. The city sacrificed. November 1940. Enigma intercepts reveal a chilling truth. The city of Coventry is the target of a massive German air raid. The scale would be catastrophic. Hundreds of bombers, thousands of incendiary bombs. Churchill's generals urged him, evacuate the city, fortify its defenses. But doing so would alert Hitler that his codes were compromised. The entire advantage of Enigma, Britain's one secret weapon, would be lost. So Churchill made a fateful choice. Coventry would not be warned. The raid would proceed. On November 14th, the Luftwaffe descended. The ancient city was obliterated. Factories, homes, churches, all turned to ash. Hundreds killed, thousands injured. But when the smoke cleared, questions lingered. Did Churchill know? And did he let it happen? The Enigma gamble. Historians now debate the Coventry decision. Some say Churchill had only fragments of intelligence, that he couldn't be certain of the target. Others argue the evidence was strong enough, but he chose the greater good over one city's fate. For Churchill, the secret war of codes was as important as the battles fought with bombs and bullets. If the Germans knew Enigma was cracked, they would change it immediately. Britain would be blind once more. By protecting the secret, Churchill preserved the lifeline of intelligence that guided the war effort, from naval battles to air raids to D-Day itself. It was a monstrous calculation. Sacrifice the few to save the many. But Coventry wasn't the only secret Churchill carried into the shadows. The U-boat crisis. 1941. German U-boats were strangling Britain, cutting off supplies of food and weapons. Churchill knew the island could not survive long without its Atlantic lifelines. Enigma again gave Britain a glimpse into the wolves' positions at sea, but using the information was dangerous. Convoys rerouted too often would alert the Germans. Lives were lost, merchant ships torpedoed, sailors drowned, not because Britain didn't know, but because Britain couldn't act without giving away its advantage. Churchill wrote privately, "The only thing that really frightened me during the war was the U-boat peril. He had to watch ships sink, sometimes deliberately, to preserve the greater secret. The moral cost of war was mounting, but even darker choices lay ahead." The deceptions of D-Day. By 1944, the Allies were preparing the greatest invasion in history, D-Day. But success depended on one thing: convincing Hitler that the attack was coming somewhere else. Operation Fortitude was born. Fake armies of inflatable tanks, phantom divisions, and false radio chatter. Churchill's government wove a web of lies so convincing that Hitler diverted his strongest forces to the wrong place. The invasion succeeded. But behind the triumph was a philosophy Churchill had embraced since Coventry. Truth must be buried. Lives must be risked if the survival of the nation demands it. But deception wasn't just used against Hitler, it was used against the British people too. The Bengal Famine. 1943. While Britain fought for survival in Europe, a humanitarian catastrophe unfolded in India. Crops failed, supply lines collapsed, and millions starved. Churchill's wartime cabinet was slow to respond, prioritizing military needs over colonial suffering. Grain was diverted to Europe, and relief delayed. Millions perished. To this day, many argue Churchill's policies worsened the disaster, or at least ignored it. Here lies another darkest secret: that the savior of Britain allowed part of his empire to wither, unseen by Western eyes. And as famine consumed India, another, even darker cover-up was unfolding in Europe. The Katyn Massacre cover-up. 1940. In the Katyn forest of Poland, the Soviet secret police executed over 20,000 Polish officers, men who could have formed the backbone of a free Poland. In 1943, Nazi Germany uncovered the mass graves. They broadcast it to the world, hoping to divide the Allies. The evidence was undeniable. The Soviets had committed mass murder. British intelligence confirmed it. Churchill knew, yet he silenced the truth. Britain needed Stalin. If the truth came out, the alliance might collapse, and Hitler would win. Churchill told his ministers, "There is no use prowling round the place. The less said, the better." And so, the dead of Katyn were buried twice, once by the Soviets, and again by silence in London and Washington. Thousands of Polish soldiers fighting for Britain never learned that their leaders had been slaughtered by their supposed ally. When even the truth itself is expendable, what does victory really mean? The price of victory. When the war ended in 1945, Churchill stood before a battered but unbroken Britain. He was hailed as the man who defied Hitler, the bulldog who never surrendered. But beneath the legend, his secrets remained locked away in classified archives. The Coventry raid, the U-boat sacrifices, the deceptions, the famine, the Katyn cover-up. Pieces of a story too complex, too dark to fit neatly into the mythology of the wartime hero. History remembers his speeches, his resolve, his cigars and bulldog spirit. But history often forgets the cold decisions, the lives lost in silence so that millions more might live. Churchill once said, "History will be kind to me, for I intend to write it." And he did. His memoirs became the foundation of how we remember the war. But in the shadows lie choices that raise uncomfortable questions. Was he Britain's savior? Or the architect of sacrifices too terrible to admit? The truth is this: Churchill's darkest secrets were never meant to see the light. And yet, history never dies. It echoes